list 1 and list 2 and typing these in.
Would this be linear?
Yep. So we're all typing in example 1. So it's going to be 1996. Make sure you change your window after you get it into the equation, because if you don't change your window, it may show up, but it won't fit the data. And Adrian, if you have a question at some point, you can just ask it out loud. Okay, so we go stat, calc, linear. Mine is this one. And then I have to make sure, does everyone have that equation? Everyone's got that rolling? Bless you. So we have to make sure we change our window to fit the data. So we go window. My lowest is 1996, so I'm going to go to 1990, just to be a little lower. My X max, my highest is 2009. I'm going to do 2020. Make it go up by 100. Mine's set in a trig window. Okay, and then I'm going to do, my lowest is 78, so I'm going to make it be 60. And my highest is 90.6, so I'm going to make it be 100. And then go up by 5s. And I should have my graph. Okay? This is where, if you want to follow steps, you're going to want to follow the other side of the paper. There's one side of the paper that gives you all the steps on how to put this into your y equals. The other side tells you how to put in an x or a y. Okay, so on the second side of the paper, you can see that. So this one actually says to us, if there had been a world record distance record in the year 2000, what would you expect it to be? So this is what we need to decide. They gave me year 2000. Did they give me X or did they give me Y? And you can tell that right off of your chart. They gave me X because list 1's always X, list 2's always Y. They gave me a year, correct? So they gave me X equals 2000. So the ways that I can type that in my calculator, and it shows it to you on that chart or on the separate page on the back. If they give me an X value, it's really easy to find it. I just go second, trace, and then value. And then X equals pops up, and you're going to put in 2000 and hit enter. So I'm going to go second, trace, value, and I'm going to hit 2000. Enter. And what do I get? 81.2 kilometers. So put that as your answer for example 1, 81.2 kilometers. Now I'm going to ask you for a different year. So I'm going to do the year 2040. 2040. So I want the year, and I hope you all error, which you should. I want the year 2040. So that means I want X equals 2040. So we're going to do that. We're going to go second, trace, value, 2040. Everyone getting there? Okay. This happens with X's all the time, and you'll call me over and you'll say it doesn't work, and on a test I cannot help you. But remember, when you get to this point and you're like, wait, it doesn't work, think, what could be wrong? My calculator can only calculate what it can see. Okay? So if I go to my window I'm going to go quick.
You have to get rid of the
If I go to my window, what's my X max currently? 2020. So that's why I could find 2000, right? 2040 it can't find because my X max is too low. So if you error, it's probably because your X min is not low enough or your X max is too low. So your X that you're finding has to be on your window. Okay, so if I want 2040, I'm going to have to make my X max be at least 2040. I'm going to make it 2045. And then when I go to find it, second trace maximum, or not maximum, value, I go 2040. Now it gives me an answer because I made it be part of my graph. Okay, so the key thing is that if you error, it's because your X value is not actually in your window. Go back, change your window. Does that make sense? Okay, so for that question, there was just an X question. I'm going to make you do a Y question as well. So for this question, I'm going to get you to add what year. One second. So I want you to go what year would the distance be (92.4 kilometers). So this time what did I give you? X or Y? I gave you Y because kilometers is in Y. So I gave you Y equals, correct? So if I'm given X equals, I go second trace value, put my X equals in, hit enter, that's it. Where do I have a Y equals? So that's where my X equals is on my calculator. That's the only place I have. Where do I have a Y equals? Very top left equals Y equals button. Don't clear out your Y1, you need it. That's your equation. This goes in Y2. So in Y2, you're going to put in 92.4, and then you're going to get two lines, and you're going to find out where they intersect. So then you're going to go second, trace, 5, intersect. And then enter 3 times. Enter, 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 not enter 3 multiplication sign. Enter, enter, enter. Okay? We're going to go into our Y2, and what did I tell you? What number was it? I don't remember.
92.4.
92.4. So then I go second, trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. And what year is it in? 2013, which means I'd actually have to round to 2014 because it's going to take till 2014 to at least hit that kilometers.
Wait, why do you round that? Yeah.
Because if you look here, it's getting better as we're going along, right? The kilometers are getting better. So they're not going to reach 92.4 in 2013. It's going to take till 2014 till they at least reach that.
Oh, so it's a little higher than 2013.
Because you have to, because this is 2013 plus a little bit extra. So in 2013, they're not going to hit it. They're going to hit it 2014.
So 2012 extra would be 2013.
Yes. Now, what if I give you, instead of 92.4, what if I give you 130? Instead of 130, let's do 110. So in my Y2, I'm going to put in 110. I'm going to clear it up. Put 110. And I'm going to press graph. And then I'm going to freak out because there's absolutely nothing there. What's my problem? My window. So whenever you have issues, it's your window. Okay? Your window has to contain the data that you're looking for. You're looking for a Y of 110. And if you look at my window, my Y is between 60 and 100. 110 doesn't exist in my window, does it? So I have to go down to my Y max and make it be at least 110. I make it be 120. Now can I see where they intersect? Yes. If you can't see where they intersect, if the line exists, but they don't cross, you might have to make your X max bigger to get them to cross. Okay, so you might see both lines, but they don't actually cross. You might have to make your X max bigger to make them cross. So we go second, trace, 5, enter, 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 and in the year 2034, I would get to 110. Okay? Okay. We're going to clear this out, and we're going to get example 2 to show up. Don't worry, when we get to the big kahuna question, we're not going to do that. So, example 2 to show up. And just so we have background on example 2 is Matt buys t-shirts for a company that prints art on t-shirts and then resells them. When buying the t-shirts, the price Matt must pay is related to the size of the order. 5 of Matt's past orders are listed below. Number of shirts being X, cost of shirt being Y. And it says Matt has misplaced the information from his supplier about price discounts on bulk orders. He would like to get the price of the shirt to be below $150 on the next order. So we're going to type this all in, and it's linear. Stat, calc, oops, stat, yeah, calc, 4. Enter, enter, bars, y bars. So we look at our window and make sure it's in there. I'm going to clear up my y2. Does everyone have that in their y equals? Then we go to window. And so we need to change our window. Our number of shirts is 200 and up to 740. So I'm going to make it 0 because you can't buy less than 0 t-shirts. Goes up to 740. I'm going to make it be 1400 because I want to make sure I have enough. And then go by 100. My Y minimum would be $0. My Y maximum is 520, so I'll do 10. Make it go up by 1. Press graph, see if it, yep, got it looking. Okay. Now the question asks us, it says, he would like to get the price of the shirt below 150. Is price X or Y? It's Y, because on the chart it says cost per shirt in dollars is the Y, right? Number of shirts is the X. So I gave you the Y. Y equals $1.50. Where do we put our Y equals if they give us Y? Into our Y2. So we go to our Y2 and we put $1.50 and we press graph. And now how do we find that value? Intersect. Second trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. And we get 770. And you say 770, why?
769.2.
Right, you can't have 769.2, but why are we rounding up and not down, even though rounding rules would tell me to round down? Yeah.
Because it's at like lower than 150.
Yes. It says it has to be lower than 150. So if I buy a shirt at 769, let's see. So if I know X, I can go second trace of value, 769. Price per shirt is actually $1.50, but you could round up with cents, right? So you'd have to actually pick 770 to get it to round down. So second trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. If it says it has to be below something, you always round up. So this here would go to 770. So you need to buy 770 shirts. Okay? Now, what if instead, guys, too many phones out. Put your phones away. So, what if, that's you too, Kyle. So what if I actually give you the number of shirts and I ask for how much it would cost per shirt? So what if I say there are, how much would it cost if I had to buy 702 shirts? If I had to buy 702 shirts, how much would it cost me Did I give you X or did I give you Y?
Yes.
X, because on the table, number of shirts is in the first column, right? And was in my list 1. So I gave you X. So I can go second trace value, 702, and it would cost me $1.94 per shirt. Now, what happens if I asked you, how much would it cost me if I bought 2,000 shirts? Did I give you X or Y? I gave you X. Yeah. If we go second trace value 2,000, it's going to error me. Why is it going to error me? Because my X max currently is 1,400. So it can't see it. Yeah? I'm going to make it 2,100 so I can see it. Second trace value 2,000. What? It costs me less money? Can it cost me no money? I'm going to buy 2,000 shirts then because I actually get paid $6.50 per shirt. This is amazing. What's the problem with this?
That makes sense.
There's probably a minimum amount that you're going to pay per shirt no matter how much you go over, right? So that's why in this case they're not going to ask you for 2,000 because you're not going to get paid $6.50 per shirt to buy 2,000. They probably, for most times when they have questions like this, they'll say if you buy between this much and this much, you get this price. If you buy over 2,000, let's say, you're $1.35 each or something like that. And you can't go to negative. They're not going to pay you to buy shirts. So this question wouldn't ask you 2,000.
Money to make money.
Okay? All right, we're going to go to example 3. I want you to do for this question the world record sprint. I want you to find out, it's linear. I want you to find out in the year 2007 what would be the world record. And remember, this is years since 1960. So that's 47 years. So I would say X equals 47. And then I want you to just do this one as well. What year will the world record time be 9 seconds? All right, example 3. I'm going to type it. So hopefully you got the answers for it. 0, 8, 23, 31, 36, 39, 45, 48, 49, 10, 9.10, not 0, Lepp. 10, my recording. See, this is what happens. My brain doesn't remember what I'm doing. 9.95. 9.93, 9.86, 9.84, 9.79, 9.77, 9.72. Yep. Stat calc 4 bars, 5 bars. Okay, your window. It's 0 to 49. I'm going to make it be 0 to 100. I like doubling it so I don't have to go back and my window can't error me because I didn't make it big enough. So often I'll make my X max twice as big as the biggest value because that's where the error comes in, right? Your X maxes aren't big enough or your Y maxes aren't, so I just make them big.
This linear?
Pardon?
This linear?
Yes. So I press graph and I have myself a little graph floating along the top. Now I wanted in the year 2007, which years is X, and I don't want it, so people error because they'll go 2007. Remember I did 2000 in the first question, I actually literally typed 2000 in, but that's because the X values were in the years. They were 1996, 1998, right? They were actually years. This one is not years, so I don't put in 2007. It says years after 1960. 2007 is 47 years after 1960. So my X actually is 47. So I'm going to go second trace value 47. And I get 9.72 seconds. Then I asked you, what year did they get to 9 seconds? So if I gave you the 9 seconds, I gave you y, right? And it goes into y2. Try your hardest to not put it into y1. If you put it into y1, you've cleared out your equation. You have to start, like, get your equation back, is what you're going to have to do. So it goes into your y2, 9, because it's 9 seconds, and seconds is y. Can I see where they cross? No. Can my calculator calculate them if I can't see where they cross? No. So I actually have to go in, make my x max bigger. I'm going to make it be 300. It's going to be a crazy amount of years till this happens. Now they cross, so I made my x max 300. So I go second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. So that's 155.2, so that's 156 years since 1960. So what is 1960 plus 156?
2016. No, 2,116. You minus it.
Yep, I totally did. Ah.
It's okay, it's Friday. Call it a day.
2116. Okay, that's the year that it happened. All right? Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going to go to example, we're going to skip example 4 and example 5, the big kahuna ugly one, and 6. I want you to go to example 8. We're just going to number 8. So we're going to read this one, and then you guys are going to try it. So this one is Josie hit a golf ball from the top of a hill. So she's on a hill, she hits a golf ball. The height of the ball above the green is given. So she hits a ball off the hill, it lands on the green below. I don't need you to describe the characteristics. They're going to be decreasing. I want you to determine the equation of the quadratic regression. I want you to do that. And then I want you to write it down to the nearest hundredth. So you're actually going to write the equation out. Because you need practice with that, because people, this is where they mess up. They can get all the answers they want, they can't write the equation out. So nearest hundredths, you're going to write the equation out. You're going to use your equation after that to determine the height at 0 seconds, 2.5 seconds, and 4.5 seconds. And then you're going to figure out when the ball hit the ground. What does that mean, when the ball hit the ground? What height is that? 0. So they're literally asking you to find out when y2 equals 0. Okay? So you're going to try that.
This is what you're calling out. So after you do like this thing. Yeah, so like you get this, like A, you get this is your quadratic. So quadratic equation of the quadratic regression is this. And this is your equation. So A x squared negative 10.07 x squared plus B, which is 51.4.
So we go stat, calc, quadratic. Now, if you're someone with the older calculators, when you hit quadratic regression, the equation pops up, right? If you're someone with the newer calculators, same thing. If we go to here, after you've done this, your equation pops up. So either way, it either pops up right away, if you have an older calculator, or it pops up after we get it into our y equals. But please don't go to your y equals in your actual calculator and try and pull the numbers off. That's way harder, right? You're scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Go off your screen. So when I wanted the equation to the nearest hundredth, I would go y equals negative 10.07, and that's my A, and then I put behind it an x squared. Then my B is 51.41, and it's positive, so I go plus 51.41 x. And then my C, I go plus C. So I go bx plus C. My C is plus 11. If they wanted it to nearest hundredths, you'd actually go plus 11.00. You would actually put the decimal 00. Okay? So that's the equation. That would be for B. C says, use your equation to determine the height of the ball. Well, I haven't changed my window yet, so that's the first thing I'm going to want to do. So I'm going to want to actually go to my window and make it fit. So my x minimum could be 0. I always try and double my x maximum. It could be 10 and a 1. And then my y minimum, make it be 0, because that's ground level. You can make it be below if you want so you can see it. I'm going to go negative 10, sure, just so I can see the actual ground level. But I actually make it negative 10, though, as appropriate value of height. No, that would mean you hit the golf ball so hard it went into the ground. I'm just doing negative 10 so that I can actually see the intersection when I go to do the intersection at 0. And then y max can be 100, let's say. Okay, so we hit graph, and we have that. Now, in reality, the ball would stop here, correct? The ball would stop at the ground level. I have something else in my y2. So the ball would stop at the ground level there, correct? In reality. If we gave a range, we would go from 0 to highest. So here, I want to find out at time 0 seconds. So that's when x equals 0, because that's time. So I go second, trace, value, 0, enter. And it's going to be 11 meters. Okay? The next one says at 2.5 seconds. 2 seconds is in the x spot, so it's 2.5 seconds. So, second trace value, no, it's not, 2.5.
It's yards, not meters, actually, if we're talking about ball.
Oh my gosh. So this would be 76.6 meters. And then we did 4.5 seconds. Second trace value, 4.5. We get 38.4 meters. Okay? The last question says, when did the ball, so what time did it hit the ground? The ground is when the height is 0 meters. So that's my y2. Now, can you guys all pay attention? Because you don't all have colored calculators like I do. So you can go to your y2 and you can put a 0. Now, this is the thing I tell you to do. Go over to the slashed line and hit enter once and it makes it thicker. If you hit enter once, it makes it thicker. So your y1 will be the thin line and your y2 will be the thicker line. So when it goes to graph it, it actually does draw it over top of the x-axis so you can see it being drawn, the intersection point. And then we just go second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. And it's going to be at 5.3 seconds.
Are we done at 10:25?
Yeah.
That is your last one.
Set.